but they fixed it. So
All right. So it's 2 o'clock, so I'm going to actually get going. Here we go. Is that everyone's ready? Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Liz Garrity. I work for COABE. I'm the executive coordinator here. I just wanted to take a minute and introduce you to today's presenter. Her name is Janet. Let me just make this bigger, sorry. And Janet, I'm going to ask you to pronounce your last name because I don't want to mess it up.
It's Janet Marigolio.
Marigolio. Okay, so Janet works on the Google Applied Digital Skills Curriculum team, creating video-based lessons that equip students with future-ready skills for education, work, and life. She has 20-plus years experience writing and designing educational materials and is passionate about equity and access in technology education. Janet has actually been on, I think, all of the webinars so far as a technical backup assistant and helping with questions and answers. Tara is also joining us today from Detroit, and she's also been on our webinars as well. And so she's going to kind of flip-flop and help Janet out today during the webinar. If you have questions, please direct them to the question and answer area of your screen. The chat we like to kind of keep for introductions. It kind of gets moving really fast, so we don't want to miss your questions. And so if you put them in the question and answer portion, that's where Tara and I are going to try to keep track the best we can, and there'll be some time at the end for questions. So I'm not going to take any more time up. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and welcome everyone again to our 4th out of 5. We have one more next Thursday, Google Applied Digital Skills webinar series. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I am actually going to stop my video so that you can focus on my slides instead of on my face, but I will say hello and thank you so much for joining today. I'm really excited to do this webinar with you. I'm going to share my screen. And my slides. So today I am going to talk about some applied digital skills lessons that are especially suited for office work and teaching people the digital skills they need to work in an office. I will be doing some live demonstration of the applied digital skills lessons on the website. And this is how you can access the website if you'd like to follow along. It's g.co/applied-digital-skills/COABE. Please note those 2 D's in the middle of the URL. I know those can trip people up sometimes. And this is the 4th in our webinar series with COABE. There's one more coming up next week about G Suite certification. which is an exam anyone can take to demonstrate proficiency in Google applications and get a credential. Today, though, I'm going to walk you through some lessons that teach valuable digital skills that people might need when working in any type of position in an office environment or when working on a computer. You can also access past webinars on the COABE website, which you see here. It's www.educateandelevate.org/Google. And the past webinars we've done can help you learn about what applied digital skills is, how to get started, and some beginner lessons to try out with your students. Today, though, I'm going to give you a short overview of 5 applied digital skills lessons that teach valuable skills people can use in the office. And I'll also tell you a little secret. The skills that the students learn in these lessons, I think, are really valuable to know in other types of jobs too, besides just office work. Lots of fields today require things like collaboration, communication, and digital skills, and those are the types of skills that these 5 lessons teach. First, I would like to go over how to find lessons easily on the Applied Digital Skills website. So to do that, I'm going to switch over to a live demo of the website so I can show you how our filters and sorting work to help you find what you need if you're looking for lessons. Sorry. I apologize. I'm trying to get my live demo to work here. There we go. So when you visit the Applied Digital Skills website, there is a tab called Curriculum, and you would click that to see all of the lessons that are available. Right now, there are 55 total lessons live on the site for middle and high school audiences and also for adult learners. All these lessons are available for free for you to use via the website. And you can also use filters to find lessons that you need more easily. So for example, if I click over here on audience and then filter by adult learners, there are 19 lessons that were specifically created for an adult audience. And the 5 that I'm going to be going over today are included in this group. So that's one way to find some lessons, is to filter by adult learners, so you get the ones that you need. You can also filter by other audiences like elementary, middle, and high school. If you're interested in teaching skills in a specific application like Google Docs, Google Drive, Gmail, you can filter lessons by those, so you'll see the lessons that teach those applications. You can also filter by topics, things like financial skills, communication, collaboration, all things that are important for students to know, and you can easily find the lessons that teach them. I'm going to remove the filter for adult learners right now and show you how sorting works. So sorting is a little different from filtering. It still shows you all these lessons, but it'll sort them so you see certain ones at the top. So for example, if I want to know which lessons were released most recently, maybe I've used Applied Digital Skills before and I want to know what's new, I can filter by most recent, and those will show right at the top. And we also have state standards on here. This is mostly for middle and high school, but I know lots of people ask about them. So if you choose a state that you're teaching in, it shows how some of the lessons map to state standards in that state. It's mostly technology standards, but it shows some other subject-specific standards as well that these lessons can help fulfill. I'm going to go back to my slides. So the first lesson that I am going to show you is called Connect and Collaborate from Anywhere with Digital Tools. When you look at a lesson on the curriculum page, like I just showed on the website, you see a tile that gives you the important information about the lesson. It includes how long it takes to complete. See that right here. And it shows the skills that it teaches and the audience. And it also shows which G Suite applications students will practice using as they go through the lesson over here. So it has all the information that you need to know right up front. In this case, students use Calendar, Docs, Drive, and Gmail. This lesson teaches different skills students need to collaborate with others digitally at work. It's great for remote workers or workers who are out in the field, as well as for those who work in an office environment. So I'm going to give you a live demo of this lesson so you can see what it looks like on the website. Hopefully this will go a little more smoothly. I apologize. The controls for the webinar are blocking my tabs for my thing. So there we go. Okay. So I'm back on the website now, and I'm going to filter by adult learners. And I'm also going to sort by most recent, because I happen to know that this lesson was one of the latest ones that we produced. Connect and collaborate from anywhere with digital tools. This is a view of the lesson page. So one of the things that's unique about this lesson is that students get to pick which skill they are most interested in learning. So they watch an introductory video, and then when they get to the next section, they choose whether they'd like to learn how to send a direct message using Hangouts chat, whether they'd like to use comments to collaborate in Google Docs, or whether they'd like to set up a shared folder in Google Drive. And when they click on one of these, they are taken to a video lesson that shows them how to do all the steps to complete that. So you can see here they are typing in a Google document and they are entering comments, which is an important way to collaborate digitally. They work with a partner in this lesson. So after they learn this skill, they go on to the next section, which they teach that skill to their partner. And they can use virtual meeting software like Google Hangouts to actually set up an invite for their partner, invite them to their meeting, and then teach them about the skill that they just learned. And the other partner would do the same for them. So they're not only reinforcing what they just learned, but they're also practicing more important office-based communication skills, like communicating about a topic with someone else in a meeting and figuring out what's important to teach them about a topic. I'm gonna go back to my slides. So just to recap this lesson, these are the individual lessons inside of Connect and Collaborate Anywhere that students can learn about via the videos. They learn about the lessons, they choose a digital skill like I showed you. They can practice using Google Calendar to create a meeting and invite their partner. And they can join a virtual meeting in Hangouts and use the features and settings there. And this helps them reinforce their knowledge as they teach the digital skill they just learned in video 2 to their partner. The next lesson I will show you is called Give and Receive Feedback. This teaches another skill that's very highly in demand in the office. It's about giving and receiving written feedback. Here's the lesson tile that you'll see on the Applied Digital Skills website, and it gives you all of the important details about the lesson. And they do this in Google Docs because they're practicing asking someone for feedback and giving feedback in writing. This lesson has students create a short invitation to an event in Google Docs, and then they share their document with a partner digitally, and they ask them for feedback. They also comment on their partner's document and make revisions based on those comments that their partner left for them. So it's really a back and forth process, just like feedback is in an actual office or any workplace environment. I'm going to give you a live demo of this one too, and I think I have possibly smoothed out how to make this work better. There we go. Going to go back to the curriculum page. I'm going to filter by adults again. And I'm going to scroll down. And here is the Give and Receive Feedback lesson. You see the lesson tile, just like I showed you on the slides. And when you view the lesson, you see all of the videos that are available. One of the ones I really like in this one is that they make a really simple invitation in this first video. Like, making an invitation sounds like kind of a heavy lift, but we're kind of showing them that you really are just putting in a few lines into your document, and then you can choose to add an image if you would like to do that. And then you can share it with someone so that they can comment on things that you possibly might have missed or left out or should change. And you can see we're actually modeling right in the video how they type right into the document. We go through it fairly slowly and give them time to add their own information into their document. The thing that's great about this is, one way it can kind of differentiate between people who have different levels of digital skills. If someone goes in there and types the exact text that is in the document they're looking at on the screen, they can still share that and still get feedback on that and still practice with this lesson. But then if someone is maybe a little more used to doing things on the computer or has used docs before, they can possibly make a fancier invitation. They can type in different types of text. They could make an invitation to a real event that they're holding. So it gives an example, but it also gives the students space to do what's right for them. And they can add an image to their invite too if they want to. I think that's a little further on in this video. Yeah, they can search the web for an invitation. Like, this is an invitation to a barbecue, so they searched for barbecue images. And it also walks them through the types of feedback that you give and ask for. You know, it's hard to say, okay, ask for feedback, and maybe people don't know what that means, or it's really hard to figure out what should I be asking this person to comment on. So we actually give a feedback checklist, or a template, you could also call it, that gives them some guidelines about what feedback should look like. It should be specific, it should be actionable. You should comment on the work and not on the person. So those are really important soft skills that people learn with this too, like not just that it's important to give feedback to someone, but that it's important to think about what that feedback sounds like and looks like, and how you can help the person better their work through it. Going back to my slides again. So just to recap, these are the lessons that are available for give and receive feedback. They write an invitation, They digitally share the invitation with a partner. They insert comments in their partner's invitation and review a checklist to guide their feedback suggestions. And then they review their comments that they got from their partner and revise their invitation based on that feedback. Next, I will show you a lesson about effective communications at work. This is a very important skill in every office. All kinds of communication are covered in this lesson. This is the lesson tile from the website, and this shows you all the important information so you know what to expect before you start the lesson. If you notice, this is a longer lesson, 6 to 9 hours of content. So in effective communications at work, students learn how to organize a meeting, collect feedback with a survey in Google Forms, make a proposal about an idea, and present information about their job or about an idea that they have. This teaches valuable skills for an office that are related to both verbal and written communication. And it also teaches the digital skills needed to communicate in person or virtually. You'll notice that this is a longer lesson. Like I mentioned before, it's 6 to 9 hours of content. This can be split up over days, several class periods. It could even be split up over several weeks. It's designed so that it can be divided up. It's not like it has to be done all in one long session. So it's very customizable that way. I'm going to show you this lesson on the website as well. Back to the curriculum page. And filtering by adult learners. And it's effective communications at work. There's our lesson tile. Now you see this one is structured a little differently than the other ones we looked at because it is one of those longer lessons that has more content. Each one of these modules in here represents about 90 minutes. And there's several videos within each one. So for example, in this lesson 2 module, they set up a meeting, they create an agenda, they use Calendar to schedule the meeting, they learn how to invite people using Calendar, and they learn how to facilitate a meeting efficiently. In the next lesson, they learn how to set up a Google form to conduct a survey. I can actually show you what that looks like. So maybe they're having some kind of problem or issue at work and they want to collect feedback from people on possible solutions. So in this example, they're working for a sandwich shop and they're trying to figure out different strategies to help increase sales. So one way to gather feedback is to use a form. So they learn a lot of valuable digital skills about how to set up a form and how to write questions, how to send it out to people. And they're also learning how to communicate effectively. They also learn how to make a proposal and how to present information effectively. So we're still at the sandwich shop in the example that's shown in the videos. In this case, they're using a presentation to teach coworkers or possibly employees that they manage how to do processes at the workplace. So it has the order that you would do things in. You clean and sanitize your work area, then you fill the ingredient bins. So it encourages them to think through a process or some kind of project that you might be doing at work, break it down into steps, add those steps to the slides. Later on in this video, they add some images and figure out a way that you can use a tool like this, a slides presentation, to really communicate something effectively to the people that you work with, possibly to your supervisor. It's really valuable skills for both in and out of the office. Go back to my slides presentation. So recapping this one, this is a longer lesson. You can see each one of the modules is about 90 minutes. They also could use just one of them or just two of them if there's only certain skills that you wanted to teach students. And it takes them all the way through facilitating a meeting, collecting feedback, communicating their ideas in a proposal, and then presenting some kind of information about their job in Google Slides. In this next lesson, Negotiate Your Salary, students get the chance to practice a series of steps that are a good idea to follow when getting ready for any serious, difficult, or sensitive conversation. The example we use in this particular lesson is asking for a raise, but these skills really do translate to many conversations and negotiations in the office. It's really about the soft skills of professionalism and workplace communication. And negotiating your salary is one way to kind of role play or practice those types of skills. Just as with the other lessons, there is a tile on the website that shows you all the important information, so you can kind of use this to preview what you're going to experience if you decide to use this one. They learn a lot of skills in this one. They even insert a table into a document to make some comparisons, and I will show that to you on the website in a minute. In Negotiate Your Salary, students gather information in a document, do some internet research about their job and their pay rate. They analyze information to decide whether asking for more pay is the right thing to do right now. And these are tools that can be used to make any type of difficult decision. Again, negotiating your salary is a great way to practice, but this is kind of a model that you can follow anytime you have some kind of decision making to do, like gathering information, analyzing it, going through the different steps that you need to do to think it through and to maybe get ready to have a conversation with somebody about it. I can give you a live view of this one as well. And go back to the curriculum page. And filter by adults again. I think this one's a little bit further down because it's been out for a little while. Here it is, Negotiate Your Salary. There's the lesson tile. When we take a look at the lesson, you'll see there's several videos here. This lesson can be completed in about 45 minutes to an hour, and then up to 90 minutes if the students decide to do some more things to learn some more skills. This video 3, Match Skills and Accomplishments to Employer Priorities, I think has a lot of really valuable skills in it. You can see they actually insert a table into a document, which is a great skill in and of itself, learning how to make a table, what it's used for, how you can put rows and columns in. What I really like about this one is that the students are encouraged to use an employee handbook or the employer's website or information that they have heard in conversations or read maybe about their company to determine what an employer's values might be and priorities might be. And then they actually think through their own work and their own accomplishments and who they are as an employee, and they kind of match those things against the employer's values and priorities. And again, the framework for this is asking for a raise, but I also think it really encourages students to think about their jobs and who they are as employees and the kind of company maybe that they work for, or maybe the kind of place that they would like to work. Those are really valuable things to think about for anyone. And if you can learn some digital skills while you're doing it, that's even better. And maybe this is the kind of tool you could go on to use later when you're trying to make a decision about something and you need to compare two different things to each other. This lesson also walks them through how to prepare for a sensitive conversation, which of course, negotiating salary falls into that category. Could also use these guidelines for many other things. So they actually go through all the things they put in their document over the course of the lesson, highlight the things that are important, and then they write a little script for themselves. What would I actually say if I was going to sit down and ask for a raise, or if I was going to sit down and prepare for a sensitive conversation? So they can write a script, and then if they choose to, they can practice it with a partner and do a little role playing. It's a great activity for a teacher to ask students to do along with this video lesson. So this teaches soft skills as well. You create a document and gather a bunch of information, but then eventually you have to prepare yourself to communicate all this clearly and with the right tone. So those are all important skills for people to practice. I'm going to go back to my slides again. I'm going to recap this one too. So in negotiate your salary, they list details about their job and their field, the place where they live, their pay rate. They also learn some digital skills in Google Docs, like adding headings and bullets to make things stand out, look more readable and understandable. They insert a table, like I showed you on the website. They match their skills and accomplishments to their employer's priorities. They learn how to do an efficient internet search. They compare pay rates, and they write a script to prepare for a sensitive conversation. I also wanted to add that, the point of this lesson isn't saying you should ask for a raise. It's really saying these are the kinds of things you have to think about when you're preparing to do something like this at work, when you need to request something or ask for something. The end result of this could be, it's not really the right time for me to ask for a raise right now. And by going through this process, I realized that maybe I need to wait, or maybe there's a different avenue here at work that's open to me. So it's really helping them through an important decision-making process and information gathering process. Next, students can learn how to plan effective meetings. There's lots of meetings in offices today, all kinds of offices. I really feel like it is part of work life for many people. Effective and efficient meetings are a great thing to know how to do. This is the lesson tile that's on the website. Plan effective meetings teaches skills people can use in any office, including things like how to make an agenda, take notes, assign action items, all the things you need to do to make your meetings run better. Running or participating in meetings is an important skill for offices today, and this lesson takes students all the way through that process. They make an agenda using a template that they can then reuse for multiple meetings, and they take notes and assign action items. They leave this class with an agenda template that they created themselves that they could actually go on to use to organize their own meeting. And that could be a meeting for any type of group, whether it's at the office where they work, or whether they're organizing a PTA meeting or a book club meeting, or any type of meeting that could be run more efficiently and have an agenda so people would know what to expect. I will quickly show you this one on the website as well. I'm going to go back to the curriculum page and filter by audience again. Scroll down to plan effective meetings. They use Google Calendar and Google Docs for this one. So you can see they draft an agenda template. They also format the template. Let's show you what that looks like. So these are the videos, and they make a template where they think about what kind of information people need to know about your meeting. They need the date, the time, the location, who's invited. We walk them through different things that might be on an agenda, like old or unfinished business, new business, space to assign action items at the end. And in this, they actually go through and format it with headings. They can put a table of contents in there if they want to. So it makes a more readable and usable document, especially when you're collaborating digitally and maybe sharing this out to people so they can navigate it really well. We also have them share the agenda. They can do this collaboratively right in their class. They could share it with a classmate. They could also share it with a family member or a friend to kind of practice what that looks like. Shows them how to share things out digitally and invite people to comment or to add their own text to it so they can see how you can share one document between multiple people and have it really become a whole living document that can be used to make your meeting more effective. I will say, I wish I had known this stuff when I first went to work. I had no idea how meetings were supposed to run or even really what an agenda was. And a lesson like this would have saved me a lot of time, I think. So to recap this one, this is just the videos that they would run through in order to learn all these skills about making their meetings more effective. Drafting and formatting a template for an agenda, which that they then get to keep, because all the projects that they make, if they're signed into their Google account, they're saved in their Google Drive. So they can go back and access that template later and make it fit any meeting that they are going to be participating in or planning. And then they actually work on planning the meeting and share out the agenda with a classmate, a friend, their instructor, a family member, so they can start to see what that kind of digital collaboration really looks like and practice those skills. That is the last of the 5 lessons that I wanted to share with you. All great for learning how to work more effectively in an office and learn all the digital skills you need for office work and other types of work as well. So as a bonus, I wanted to show you some of the other materials that are included with the Applied Digital Skills lessons, especially example projects, lesson plans, extensions, and surveys. These are all really useful resources that can help you use these lessons and customize them for your students and for your needs. So first, example projects. There are example projects for each Applied Digital Skills lesson. You saw some of them when I was running through those live demos. They're the examples we actually show during the video to show how to build out a project. And you can link to the example projects through the lesson plans, which I'm going to show you in just a minute. They are shared through a public account in Google Drive, so you can actually view them and see what they look like. And students are walked step by step through how to build these when they watch the Applied Digital Skills videos. And this kind of gives you a visual for what to expect a student's project to look like by the end. The one on the left is the table from Negotiate Your Salary. And the other one is from Give and Receive Feedback. It's the invitation. So the student's project might look different from this. They might not have a barbecue image. They might have a birthday party image. They might have different text in there. But you see an example of what a finished project could be and the elements that you'd expect to be included. Next, extensions. These are available for all of the lessons that I went over with you today. There's different extensions for each lesson. These are the ones for Negotiate Your Salary. So extensions are just short videos. They're only a few minutes each. Usually they can do the whole extension in less than 10 minutes. And it really allows students to extend their project and their skills. So if you have students who are more proficient and maybe they finish the main lesson early or really quickly, you can send them to these extensions so that they can practice more skills and do more things with that project that they built. Also, if you feel that a student needs more practice with something, you can send them here so that they can practice a single skill and get more experience. And if you want to extend a 45 or a 60-minute lesson out to more like 90 minutes or longer, these extensions are available to help you do that. And you can see how these extensions for Negotiate Your Salary really allow students to practice specific skills like adding a table of contents to their document to make it more organized, sending an email to request a meeting to have that sensitive conversation. They would just do that one skill in that video so they get to practice. And I realize the type on this one is probably too small for you to read. I can also show you where these are on the website. Most lessons also include what we call a reflection or a survey. This helps show how successful students were at the tasks in the lesson and their comfort level with performing the different skills. This is a survey from Give and Receive Feedback, and I also can show you what a survey looks like on the website. If I go back here, here's the reflection. So you can see there's these surveys that they can take that kind of measure their comfort level with the different skills that they practiced in the lesson. Things like sharing a document or inserting comments. Go back to my slides. And finally, lesson plans. I'll show you these live in a minute too, but I wanted to explain a little bit about what they are and how they work first. Lesson plans are available for every lesson on the Applied Digital Skills website. You can find them by clicking the link on each lesson page. Right here, there's a link to the lesson plans. They are view only in a Google Drive account, but you can make a copy of the lesson plan, which will store it in your own Google Drive. And then you can customize it for your own needs any way that you want to use it. So you can remove sections, add sections, print them out, whatever you need to do. And I will show you what one of those looks like as well. So here's the lesson page for Plan Effective Meetings. And down here is the lesson plans. So this links to a live document that is view only. You can see there's somebody in there up here, the little bat icon. If you click File and make a copy, it will copy it to your drive. You can also click this link right here that says Save Copy to Drive. Either one works. You can rename it, and then you can customize this any way you want. But it outlines all the learning objectives, the things students should know, do, and understand in each of these lessons, the digital skills they learn, maybe terms and concepts, vocabulary, things like that that they're going to come across in this lesson, the kind of materials you need, the duration of each part of the lesson so you know how long it's going to last. Give some tips for, especially if you're a little newer to using video-based or blended learning instruction, things you could be doing while students are watching the videos, walking around to check outcomes and seeing that they are actually following all of the steps. It also gives some examples of what projects look like, super helpful. Shows the different sections, for example, in this meeting agenda template that you should expect the students to have done by the end of these videos and what that might look like. And there's an appendix at the end too that has discussion questions and activity suggestions if you would like to do those kinds of things in your class outside of watching the actual videos. So those are the lesson plans. And that pretty much wraps up all of the information about lessons to help students learn skills for the office that are available on Applied Digital Skills. I'm going to pause for questions, but I'd also like to remind you to attend next Thursday's webinar, which is about support, resources, and certification. And please remember that you can reach out to us anytime at the email that's listed here if you have any questions or comments or suggestions. And thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Janet. So I've been monitoring our question and answer window as well as our chat, and it looks like we have a couple questions for you. So the first question that came from a couple users was they seem to really appreciate your lesson recap. So the slides that you showed that had the lessons and the approximate time of each video. Where could they find that?
Oh, so the recap that I showed, if you go to the website, actually I can share my screen again so that I can show you. Bear with me for just a moment. So if you go, the lesson page, which when you find that curriculum tile, I will back up. So you're on the curriculum page, you see a tile, you say, oh, plan effective meetings, looks like something my students need to learn. You can view that, and then that gives you that list of those lessons. And then if you look at the lesson plan, let's get rid of this. I know I'm sharing my screen. Thank you. Scroll down in the lesson plan and you see this, it says lesson outline, main videos plus extensions. So that tells you, here's the title of the video, here's the duration, here's the description of what they're going to learn. And it has the main lesson plus, you see down here, there's 2 extensions listed on this page and then more on the next one. It has the extensions as well. So that's the easiest resource for you to find that information, is through first the lesson page that kind of gives you the high level overview, and then for that deeper dive, go in the lesson plan, and all of that is right there.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, so the next question is, how can we track a cohort of adult students?
There's tracking available through the teacher dashboard, which I believe was explained, I want to say the first webinar that we did. If you want to access that through the COABE website, it walks you through exactly what to expect when you look at that teacher dashboard. But there, when you create a class in Applied Digital Skills, then you add students to your class, you can track exactly how many videos they've watched and how much of the work that they've completed. And there's also times that they submit that work to you through Google Drive too, if you choose. So you can see what they have actually produced.
Yes, exactly. So just to reiterate, if you sign up as a teacher, then you have the option to create a class, and then you can add your students to that class, and then you can learn together as a cohort and track their progress. So perfect. Okay, and then let's see, I think there was one more question that I wanted for you, but let me see where it went. Oh, do teachers get a copy of the survey results on the learning reflections? If so, how?
Yeah, right now, I know we have talked about making that possible, but I think due to privacy concerns right now, like we can't have tons of that student data available to everyone. But I know that some of the ways teachers have done that is like actually done the survey separately and conducted themselves too. So we get that data here, and we can't share obviously individual student data with people, but we do look at it in kind of aggregated format so that we can tell like how effective certain lessons are. We also give suggestions in the lesson plans for assessment too that you can do individually.
Thank you, Janet. And then it looks like the last question I see here in the window is, how do we sign up for next week's webinar? So Liz, if you are available, could you help our viewers sign up for next week's webinar?
Sure. You just go to www.educateandelevate and click on, should be a webinar series button to register. If you want to type me your email, I can send you a link directly if that's easier. That's fine. You can do that too. I think, are there any other questions? I mean, we can wrap up a couple of minutes early if there's no one else with questions.
I thought there would be lots of questions, so I was
think Tara was kind of going through as you were going. I know there was one comment that I noticed in the question and answer that said you are only showing adult learners. I believe, I mean, if you want to just address that for a minute.
Yeah, I can actually share and show you that we have lots of content for all levels of learners. So I'll go back to the curriculum page again. If you scroll down, there's 55 lessons. And a lot of these, and you'll see under the audience here, some of them are appropriate for middle and high school. Some even can go to late elementary. These middle and high school and late elementary lessons have rubrics with them as well to help with grading in the classroom. And they are the same format. I'll show you what that looks like. You still get the lesson page and you still have videos that they watch. Same thing, they build a project. The main difference between really the middle and high school lessons and the adult lessons is the context that's put around what they're learning. So we might talk more about the workplace in adult lessons and maybe a little bit more about school in some of the middle and high school ones. But I have talked to some adult instructors who have definitely used high school level lessons with adults and they enjoyed them and also learned from them. I mean, the skills translate perfectly fine. And I think some things like plan an event or plan and budget, this one is about, they could be for either audience. You definitely shouldn't feel like you can't use a lesson just because it's not labeled adult learners.
And then there was just some general questions on where are the extensions, where do you find example projects? That's probably at the on the website that you guys had typed in at the beginning, right?
Yeah, if you go to the Applied Digital Skills website, which there's that link that I think was on almost every page of the slides and right at the beginning of the presentation too. It's the Applied Digital Skills with the /COABE at the end. The lesson plans are available on every lesson page. If you go into the lesson plan, there is a link to the example project so you can view it.
Oh, and also on the email that you'll get tomorrow with your certificate, those resources are there as well. The links are there in case you didn't, write it down or whatever. And the presentation will also be attached, so you can definitely access the links if you didn't have a chance to write them down. So let's see if there's anything else. I don't think so. I think we're pretty caught up. Does anyone else have any questions? A couple more minutes and I'd like Melinda's comment. Teachers are very resourceful. I agree. If elementary lessons seem to work, they will use them. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, we've heard of teachers use these lessons across all age groups, all capabilities. Some teachers get super creative with them too. I mean, we have lessons about creating a resume, and we actually had teachers of some younger students using that to create a resume for like a fictional character or a historical figure, as well as for their own career stuff. So lots of different ways they can be used.
Yes, and then there's another quick question on storing previous webinars. So yep, I can definitely let you know. I'm going to type it in, but it's www.educateandelevate.org/Google. And if you click on webinar series, you can scroll down after you go to that page, scroll down to archived webinars. So the registration links for the next week, well, only one more now, will be at the top, and then you'll see archived. And then you can also go to www.coabe.org and hit resources and webinar resources. So there's a couple of different places that you can go, and I will type that in here as well. Thank you for asking. Tara, do you see any other questions coming through on the side?
So it looks like someone just asked if parents and children together, there's not a lot of context with this comment, but I'm presuming they're asking if these lessons would be appropriate for both parents and children to learn together.
We don't. Yeah, that's a great question. We don't specifically create content, and I'll say right now, for parents and children, that's actually designed that way. However, anybody can log on to the website with a free Google account and use them at home. And certainly parents and children could absolutely learn together using these lessons. They just would need a device with an internet connection.
Absolutely. And I'll just echo that when we did attend the COABE National Conference in New Orleans, we had a chance to meet with the family literacy group, and they had a couple examples of people using applied digital skills lessons for multi-generational learning. And the lesson that they happened to use was the Create a Photo Journal. So I think that's a great lesson for both children and parents to learn together.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion.
Yeah, thank you. And I guess it depends on how old your children are too. If you've got teenagers, they can definitely start learning how to write a resume and, doing all the things that Janet already talked about. Like we said, when, we were coming up, we didn't have the resources available that we have today. So it's a great way to get an edge if you've got a teenager.
Yeah, and students, they're great consumers of technology and texting and things, but it's great for them to learn a deeper level of actually creating things on their own.
Yes, absolutely. All right, a couple more minutes. So let's see if anyone else has a question. So let me just also say, as a housekeeping item, when you get your certificate, we mail them to everyone. You can ask me if you want me to put your name on it. You just email me at coordinator@coabe.org, or you can open it yourself and add your name. It's up to you. I just wanted to give you a heads up. You'll get a bunch of things in your email tomorrow, all the links, the presentation, the certificate. So it should all be coming right to your email automatically by tomorrow afternoon. So give it till tomorrow afternoon, and then if you don't receive it, you can definitely reach out and email me. I hope you guys enjoyed the webinar. I think we're gonna wrap it up, and we'll see you next week for our last one. All right, thanks Tara, thank you Janet.
Thank you. Bye.